Hello, emerging mothers. It is so good to be back with you. Listen, I haven't seen you all since the Emerging Mothers Evolution Masterclass, and it is so good to be back with you and to be sharing information. That's my life's calling, is to toss tips and to drop gems as it pertains to teens and teens transitioning out, and those things that we can do as mothers to make sure that their transition is as smooth as it can possibly be, and to make sure that we're prepared prior to their transition. So again, this is my life's calling, and I'm so excited to be here with each and every one of you. Listen, today I would like to talk about belief, and I would like to talk about trust. And that's exactly what we want to have with our teens prior to that transition. So when they transition out, we can already have that belief in them and that trust in them, that for a few different reasons. Number one, that they're able to get the job done. And then number two, they will be able to make responsible decisions. And also number three, that they're safe and able to take care of themselves. We want to make sure that they're able to do those things. And so, when we think about belief, we think about having trust in someone or something, confidence in someone or something. We're looking for that someone to remain reliable. We're looking for that someone to have strength within themselves. We're looking for them, if there are times where they're needing to be independent, then again, they're able to make those appropriate choices. Will they always make good, appropriate choices? I think not. However, it would be good for there to be that trust built so that they can know who it is that when a time is needed, then they're able to rely on someone other than themselves. And so that's what I'd like to talk to you just a little bit about on today. So, what I have noticed is that, and just thinking through within my imagery, why is it that teens need our trust? I'm believing that they need our trust because there are going to be some challenging decisions they're needing to make. Your teens transition out of the home, and I know that you and them are partnering to decide, of course, which dorm they're going to be in, of course, which courses they're going to take. Also, although they're driving and guiding the ship, of course, their major, I'm sure that they're wanting to run that past you as well. And then also, they're chatting with you about the friends that they've met. These other individuals who have different backgrounds, different upbringings, different beliefs, and then just their thought process and the way they do things and the way they live life is different. And so, as they run all of that past you, then of course, they'll want to trust that you're giving them, the best advice possible so that they can still get the job done, number one, but yet all of these decisions that need to be made in between the time they transition until the time they graduate, that they're actually able to maintain some leveled, balanced sense of sanity. So nonetheless, it's one of the reasons is because, of course, there's going to be some difficult decisions that they're needing to make. And of course, they want to make sure that they're making the appropriate ones. It's interesting also that that our teens have a tendency, and I've noticed this with my daughters since they've been home, is that, there's like a balance that we as parents have with them, because guess what? There's a sense of independence because they've been out of the home and they've established themselves. They've spent time growing into themselves, and then also a privacy as well. And allowing them, and I'm just for those mothers who have, their teens have yet to transition out, it's the whole privacy and wanting to be, independent, it's totally welcomed because, we want them to continue growing and doing and taking care of themselves and doing as much as they're able to alone. And then when we all get together, then guess what? We are having a great time. when it comes, and we're doing things together. Look, last weekend or the weekend before that, we went to the escape room. We have family fun Fridays. Whereas we went to the drive-in movie theater. So we're doing those types of things together. But I just absolutely love watching my daughters do things independently, number one, and then allowing them to have their privacy. I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing. However, I know for some mothers, sometimes when they sense the privacy, and I've been in a conversation where it's, there's a sense of maybe there's something going on that the mother needs to know about, or maybe there's something that's being hidden. And so I want to confirm for you right here, right now, that, I'm uncertain that the privacy and the yearning to be independent, I'm uncertain. I'm unable to confirm that actually means that there's something going on. I mean, there are many times where the teen just simply respects and wants their space. And guess what? That's perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, I'm excited about it, that the space is needed. And so, yes, when we're all coming back together again and our schedules permit, then, of course, we can just have fun together or have family meetings together. And all of those different types of things. So it's a win-win situation. So some of you may be asking, okay, so how is it, I may not have it right now, but how is it that I can build and establish that trust? And I want to just give about, 5 ways on how the trust can be built. First and foremost, just, setting clear expectations up front, that you're going to be honest with your teen and transparent with your teen as it pertains to the questions they ask you. And then that's reciprocal, that honesty is there, that trustworthiness is there. And so that way, that helps to build that trust between, of course, yourselves, moms, and then also the teens. And then also having that loop existing for feedback. And so if we remain open for feedback and then our teen remains open for feedback, then that is a win-win situation. And if that level of trust has already been built, then there's already this openness to hear what the teen has to say, and then for the teen to be able to receive what we as mothers have to say. So that way, when that feedback loop exists and continues and remain open, then the need to second guess what a person is thinking or what they're imagining regarding the circumstance or situation, that's non-existent. So yes, first and foremost, setting those clear expectations. And then number 2, making sure that feedback loop, that remains open. And then also, I think about this next way to build trust, from really a teaching perspective. In the world of education, when we're wanting a student to learn a particular way, or when we're wanting them to understand and comprehend instructions as it pertains to maybe homework or an assignment, etc., there's this whole I do, you do, and then we do. And so if you're able to, mothers, model this whole trust and the building of trust with your teen, then they will be more than not reciprocal. So if you're trusting them and you're placing confidence in them, and if you have a belief in them, and if you're encouraging, motivating, inspiring them, then guess what I have found with my teens is I find them doing the same thing to me. It's interesting how I pour and impute, and I certain behaviors that I do because I love my daughters and I want them to just soar and just do their absolute best in whatever they're doing, then I can specifically remember that when I was moving towards defending my dissertation, and so I heard all type of encouragement. I mean, they would text me and call me, and there was all types of encouragement coming my way from my daughters, and it was enlightening. I absolutely loved it. And so if you do, mothers, telling your sons and daughters you love them like all the time, like up under this Lloyd roof, that's just as we say that, just like we say maybe how was your day or hello, or we make that I love you just like common verbiage. I'm sure we say it every day. When maybe one of our family members were leaving out of the home or hanging up from a telephone call, or maybe we're out and about and we're getting ready to depart and go our separate ways, then we're saying, I love you. And we're giving an encouraging word. And so I would encourage you and inspire you to do that as well. Just make that a part of your normal, common conversation when you're in communication with your son or with your daughter, mother. I really hope that you'll take that to heart. I know that, based off of some of our upbringings, maybe that was something that was not necessarily said to us. Guess what? We can change that. All it takes is one decision. Making a decision to just express your love for your son or daughter is essential. It has gone a long way, and it has really made the difference. So I would encourage you to do that, because you do. And would I ever want my son or my daughter to not hear that or even question that? I think not. So I would encourage you to do that. And then, you know what? Your son or your daughter is getting ready to transition out of the home. And they're going to experience, and this is tip number 4, they are going to experience an insurmountable level of freedom. And so for those of you under the sound of my voice who have juniors, high school juniors, and I know those of you with seniors, they are on their way out next month. And maybe some are taking maybe a gap semester or gap year, so maybe it's next August for some of your sons or daughters. But for those of you who have high school juniors, it would be absolutely awesome if piece by piece you're beginning to release as we speak, because they'll want to become very, very comfortable with that freedom. And it's a good time for you to experience that freedom now that they're going to experience. So if you gradually, between now and next August, if you will gradually, each and every month, little by little, begin to release, I call it releasing with respect, then by the time they're off, by the time they leave, they will already have experienced a little taste of that freedom. And so this is something that I wish that I would have just done more of, just gradually, more and more, released just a little quicker. And so, being totally transparent, in my communications with you mothers, that we want to, did I release, and by the time it was time for them to go, I had totally released. I'm unable to claim that. However, I'd encourage you to do it. So as you begin to release, little by little, mothers, by next August, guess what? You will have had an opportunity to manage. You would have had an opportunity to facilitate, to coordinate some of the hiccups that could happen along the way, and then be able to advise to that. It will make a world of difference. So yes, little by little, piece by piece, just beginning to release. And then listen, last but not least, I'll go back over these 5 points. Last but not least, please allow there to be some level of forgiveness. allow that to just like happen sooner as opposed to later. Will they always make wise decisions? I think that they will possibly not always make wise decisions. Do we always make wise decisions? Did we make wise decisions all the time when we were teens? This is real talk, mothers. This is real talk. I can say for myself that I did not always make wise decisions. And so allowing that grace, given that mercy, it would be admirable from us. So please, let's incorporate that level of forgiveness so that we can continue to move forward, forgiving and forgiving. Of course, will there be a little chat thereafter regarding, how, a wiser decision that could have been made, or will there be, opportunities to, share with them how overcoming that obstacle could work better next time? I think so. I mean, we're still parenting. We're parenting slightly different, but by the same token, we're still parenting. So that's absolutely critical. So listen, going back over those 5 points, first and foremost, we want to make sure that we are setting clear expectations if we're wanting to build that trust with our teens prior to their transition. And guess what? You know what? Your teen/young adult may have already transitioned out of the home. And, maybe the relationship is a little rocky. Maybe there's a little tension between you two. You can definitely start today with communication and establishing that trust. And in order to establish that trust, it still amounts to clear expectations that, you're willing to be honest, trustworthy, transparent, and then, if they're doing the same, then it's a win-win situation. So, number one, setting those clear expectations. 2, making sure that feedback can be received. Of course, we're wanting our teens to be able to receive the feedback we give them. And then guess what? It's okay for us to be open as well. As a matter of fact, I remain open. Do I always agree? I'm unable to say that I always agree. And, many times we have to just, accept that, given a situation or circumstance, we're unable to agree. However, making sure that we're able to at least hear that feedback is critical. So that's number 2. Number 3, making sure that we model for our teen the trust that we think would be beneficial and essential for the relationship. And then thereafter, making sure that we're beginning to release more and more each and every month before they transition is important. And then, of course, last and definitely not least, we want to make sure that we are willing and ready to forgive. Sometimes we are a little hesitant about forgiving so quickly. Yes, we are. However, we know we have to do it. We must do it. And the sooner we're able to do that, the better. So I'm talking to you. This is just real talk. And we all are working. We're in the trenches, making sure that we're able to implement these strategies. And in all actuality, making sure that those relationships are established. So listen, before we jump off and before we detach, let's just think about some things that we can do with our teen, just so that we're able to maintain that trust. If we haven't maintained it, establish that trust so that trust and that belief in them can be built. Because again, when they go off and they're on the college campus, you'll want them to call you and to share with you a little bit about, maybe what's going on. And if they need any help, they know that you're there to help them. So, it could mean, you all taking some weekly walks or, around the neighborhood enjoying nature. It could mean you're, just thinking about what they like and doing something meaningful for them. It could mean, you're being able to just show your gratitude more often. That could help to build, and if it's already built, strengthen that relationship. It could mean you and your sons and daughters praying more together. When I tell you that that is the number one secret, now if you all ever want to know my secret sauce, that's what it is. It's prayer. And we pray together, and that is what, even, if there's, a disagreement or what have you, we can always come back together regarding prayer. Then, you know what? Guess what? If there's always something you can do, like an activity around the house, or, something fun outside of the house. There's so many things that can be done. If you need additional ideas, listen, DM me, and I will definitely share that with you. Before we depart, I know I just said that I'm in the go, but really, before we depart now, please know that if in case you're walking near your Bible, or if you have a Bible, on your bookshelf, or it's laying on the table or something along the lines, please keep in mind, if you will, 1 Peter 5:7, when it comes to raising these teens, we can cast all of our cares, all of our worries over on God, because we know that He cares for us. Also, let's know that if we ever need additional wisdom, we'll always know that, listen, in the book of James, 1st chapter, it talks about if you need wisdom, guess who we can ask? We can ask God if we need additional wisdom. And then also in Exodus 14, know that He will fight our battles for us. All we have to do is be still. So know that you have a whole tribe, us. You have a whole parent posse behind you, us. And then you have our Heavenly Father, who's behind you as well, and who is helping you along the way. Listen, this is your weekly live today. It's every Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I just love you all. I appreciate you all listening and jumping on. And I will see you all next Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I appreciate you. And if there are any questions at all, DM me or drop them in our private group, Emerging Mothers, of course, what we're in right now. And I'll be sure to respond. Take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of the week and the weekend as well. See ya. Bye.